Welcome to my YouTube. Thank you for joining. I want to talk about something that I was actually thinking about this a while, and I've been thinking. When I first started out in real estate game, and we talking 25 years ago easily. I remember going to get bits and pieces of information, and sometimes it made sense, but a lot of times it didn't. In other words, I wasn't able to put all the pieces together simply because I was going through so many people. I was checking out so many different gurus. I was going to different seminars, checking out different classes, and I was just getting pieces everywhere, right? But when it come down to it, I really wasn't getting anywhere because all that information that I was getting from so many people and so many different gurus. I'm not going to say it didn't make sense, but it wasn't coherent. It wasn't really making a lot of sense as far as where they were coming from because again, I'm just getting pieces from everywhere. If I just would have went through one person, that it probably would have made more sense. But because everybody has different ideas and thought processes and strategies and methods. But nonetheless, I took the time out to invest in myself, and that was key. I don't care how you look at this, guys. You have to invest in yourself in order to get ahead. Trust me, I've been there before where I was trying to put all these pieces together and going on YouTube and Facebook and getting all these seminars, like I said, buying a bunch of courses. You have to invest in yourself. No other way around it. I wish I could tell you there's a secret. I wish I could. Well, that is the secret. Investing in yourself. But personally, what I did was I ended up getting courses and I ended up getting a mentor. My mentor that helped me out and spoke to me and gave me these strategies and methods. That was the best move I ever made. I tell you, just ponying up and paying the money to get coaching again was the best thing that I ever did, and I wouldn't change anything. It wasn't until I got coaching to where my business really, really grew. I was stuck at three houses for a long time. I'm talking for like 5 years. I never thought real estate didn't work. My question was, how am I able to get beyond three houses? Now, I was still working at corporate America. I was still working at these plants, working 12-hour shifts. So that was what I was trying to figure out was how do I get past three houses? Because I want to get more. I don't want to just do this as a hobby. I really want to do this as a business. I want to build a legacy for me and my family. But getting that one piece of information from the mentor was key. And I'm going to explain to you now. I spent a lot of money on investing in myself to get to that next level. Again, I did all the courses, the books and all that, but it wasn't until I was ponied up and got a mentor, and then that's when I ended up getting 35 single family houses. Not the next year, but over in time. They taught me so much, okay? But again, I would not change anything. I could have been stuck at three houses, or I could have, built a portfolio of real estate investments as I've done. And I'm so happy that I did. So I just tell people, guys, you got to invest in yourself. That's the key. Investing in yourself is going to give you the insights that you need. Getting a mentor, they're going to guide you in the right direction. And also, they can lead you down the right road and not make the same mistakes because I made a lot of mistakes along the way. But when I had somebody to ask questions to and they could help me and guide me along the way, it just changed the game forever for me. And like I said, I ended up getting a mentor. I've spent thousands, and I mean thousands of dollars um, getting into real estate and learning this, but I wouldn't take it away from anything. I would be like a lot of people out here, unfortunately, and be living check to check, being miserable and unhappy, and that's not something that I wanted to do. I've set it up now to where I've been able to leave a legacy for me and my family, right? Because I've understood that with real estate, I'm leaving a dynasty. I have assets now. I have assets that are throwing off cash flow every single month. And that's the key. Um, They didn't teach us this in school, right? They didn't teach us this in school about buying assets. But I had to learn that from my mentor, other people that I was networking with, people that I was hanging around with. And that's another thing. It's so important to network with people, okay? This is not a journey where you go by yourself. You really need a team. You need people to help you along the way. People will take you places where money can't. That's what they. That's what a lot of people have taught me. People will take you places where money can't. So I'm just sharing with you my journey on this real estate game and how you could do this too. Okay, but let me loop back around. Like I said, you got to invest in yourself, guys. You can always try to get pieces and everything from everybody else, but I promise you, it's going to take you longer. It took me a long time before I got it. So after doing this for 25 years, I would say the first 3 years, I was just spinning my wheels. I got with Carlton Sheets. He was big guru back in the 90s, late 2000s, and in the 2000s, or late 90s, excuse me. And I remember that was my first big guru that I've ever dealt with. I started reading books like Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor Dad, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. These are books that I've read, but it wasn't until I actually got with somebody and invested in myself. Time and money is what's going to take. I know people hate to hear that, but it's time and money combined can really get you to that next level to where you can become financially free as long as you take action. Okay. Does anybody have any questions about real estate? If you have any questions, put them in the chats. I'll be more than welcome to answer any questions. But I'm just sharing with you my journey in real estate and how you could do this too. Again, I always say you don't need a license to do this. You don't need a degree. You don't have to be rich. Sometimes lacking information can really hurt you, right? Lacking information can really cost you. So trust me, I've been there before, but um, I wouldn't do anything else because I'm at a place now to where nobody can like fire me. I don't have to deal with a boss. Nobody can lay me off. Nobody can furlough me, right? Because I took the time out to invest in myself. I like what Alex Hormozy says. Alex Hormozy, he owns these gyms. He's all over YouTube, and he states that you got to invest in the SME 500. The SME 500. It's all about you. SME 500. And that's what I've done. And over the years, I've spent thousands and thousands of dollars on myself. But I've recouped it, right? I've recouped it because I've gotten it back. I've gotten it back. My investment deals are good now, right? They're good. They're throwing off cash flow. They're providing for me and my family, and I'm so happy that I've done it. But you got to invest in yourself. I can't stress that enough. Investing in yourself is the key, and you're going to invest time and or money, both, right? Most of the time, it's time. There's no question about it. But in addition to that, money. But how much? That's going to vary. How much time? That's going to vary. But it's worth it. I got a ROI, return on investment, that nobody can take away from me again. They can't furlough me. Nobody can downsize me. So something that can happen is that corporate America, ask all the TSA workers, unfortunately, that lost their jobs or lost pay for a while. That's scary. These people really just don't care. Our government officials, our politicians, they don't care. We've already got to see that. To me, that was like another huge wake up call to be like, you know what? I need to learn a new skill so I can be able to provide for my family when things go haywire in this economy and in life. Um, that's a huge wake up call, and you take it as you may see it. But again, it goes back to what I always teach in my YouTube channels or in my social media. Have a backup plan financially. Have a backup plan financially, because it's not about the glitz and glamour. It's not about the fancy cars and the 5,000 square foot homes. For me, it has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with having a backup plan. So if something were to happen, like we've already experienced, um, you have something to provide for you and your family. So majorly important. What's wrong with real estate? That's what I'm talking about. I'm here to talk about real estate. That's what I do. I talk about buying single family houses and renting these things out. I rent them out to Section 8. I do traveling nurses. I do insurance companies, but I like to do the buy and hold strategy. No, I don't see anything wrong with real estate. Nothing at all, you know. Um, it's I've been doing it since 2000, so I always talk about real estate. I like it better than any other investment vehicle. And by the way, I do other investment vehicles like crypto and some other ones. Somebody says, I'm able to save an additional $2,000, $8,000 a month from my job after budgeting and expenses. What is the best investment to put my money in? I heard I can get into real estate for just $7,500. Okay, great question, Faithful Mustang. Um, I'm able to save an additional 2,000. Okay, 7,500. Okay, you're saying you can get into real estate for 7,500. Okay, let me explain something about this since everybody's giving you a hardcore number, 7,500 or whatever. Look, guys, that number is going to vary. It's going to vary depending on the house, how much work it needs, how much below market value it is, the market that you're in. There's so many conditions. So I'm not going to say $7,500 all the time. That's not how it works, right? I I'm here in Texas, and most of my properties to get in, I'm just in Texas, and this is a very inexpensive place, around 15 to $20,000, and I think that's a more sustainable number, more realistic number. If you have 15 to $20,000, that's good. And look, I want to give him another point here. If you have to spend 15 to $20,000, so twice the amount you're talking about, that does not make it a bad deal. People think, this is what blows my mind. It's like people think you can get in for zero money all the time without paying any money down. Okay, let's get realistic. You spend your life at work. I'm not saying you, and you don't get a ROI. If you have to put 15 to $20,000 down, and it takes you 4 or 5 years to get your money back, who cares? It's an investment. It's an asset. So I don't know where you live at and your location, Faithful Mustang. You're doing a great job, it seems like, which is congratulations. But I don't know where you live. But again, some things contribute to that. I wouldn't say 7,500. I'd probably say a little bit more. But the fact that you could save that much, if it was me and I'm in your situation, I would save up for a couple of more months and get you about 15 to 20, because that's going to give you a little bit better cushion, especially on times when things break down or whatever. That's just my personal opinion. 7,500 seems cheap nowadays. I'm not going to say you can't. Save up a little bit more money. That way you got more opportunities to find other deals, not just the $7,500 ones, but the ones that are $1,500 down. And keep in mind, you can also do something called seller finance. Seller financing is a great way to get started in real estate. If you don't know, these owners, there's some of them that are older and their property is paid for and they want to sell it. So instead of you going to the bank, you can also just negotiate a deal between you and the seller. Perfect way to get started. That's exactly what I did. But that's a really good question. I have not used my FHA loan. I wanted to save for a duplex, quad, or tri if I can, and rent out the other 2 rooms. Do you think this is a good strategy? How to roll? Yes, Faithful Mustang. I'm glad there's somebody actually in here wanting to learn and actually not giving me nonsense. I don't know why they do this on this. But anyway, great question. That's called house hacking. You live in one side and you can rent out the other 2 or 3, whatever it is. That is a great strategy. And here's the best part that people don't realize. Faithful Mustang, you can actually have that property for at least 1 year. Then you can turn around, okay, rent that other property, and then go buy you another property with another FHA loan and rent that one out. So that is a great strategy. And I wish I knew this when I first started out 25 years ago. So, but yeah, that's a great strategy. Um, okay. I don't, somebody says, I don't need a budget. I just look at what's left in the bank account. Great strategy. Yeah, no, not a 1031 exchange, Faithful Mustang. 1031 exchange when you're actually getting rid of the property and you want to go buy another one. That's a tax IRS tax code. And that's not a bad strategy, but that's when you actually want to sell your property. I'm telling you, you're actually going to keep the property and say you have the fourplex, say you're renting out the three. No, you can actually go buy you another property, buy you another investment or another primary home, okay? And then rent out that other one you just moved out of that you were living in, but you're still keeping the property. So now instead of getting rent from three, you're going to get rent from four if it's a fourplex or minus whatever. All right. But great question. But 1031 exchange is something different. Like I said, that's if you want to sell the property and go roll the profits into the next deal. So the next one you pay is little to no money down, which I've done all the time. Guys, I suggest you binge watch and watch a lot of my YouTube videos because I'm starting to push out a lot more. And all I do is talk about real estate investing and how you can get into this, different strategies, different methods. I talk about Section 8. And you can also follow me on TikTok. Like right after I leave here, I'm going to go to the TikTok platform, but I'm always giving out information and game guys. If this is something that you enjoy, I definitely suggest you follow me, subscribe, and leave comments down below. That way, it lets me know that you're engaging with me. And if you want me to teach another topic, just let me know. All right. Any other questions? But these are great questions, guys. But it's just really trying to help people out because I've been there, done that before. After experiencing so much in the real estate game, I love coming out here and sharing this game and information because people really are trying to figure out a different way for retirement, to make it passively some income because you can't build wealth by working at corporate America. And I like what Warren Buffett said. He has some great quotes, but this is one of my favorite ones. He says, um, if you if now I just forgot it because I put myself uh you if you're gonna oh I forgot what it was now. He had a great quote. And anyway, I like listening to Warren Buffett. And success leaves clues. Success really does leave clues. Um, but just follow those that are doing what you want to do, and you'll be surprised getting that information. This is what I did. I used to get this information from people that were doing better than me or wanting to do what I did to do. And I followed suit, right? Take action. If you don't find a way to make money passively, you're going to work until you pass away. That's a Warren Buffett quote, and it makes so much sense. If you don't find a way to make money passively, you're going to work until you pass away. I want to buy a Lamborghini. If I had $100,000, how can I use real estate as collateral and to pay for the car payment? Example 96 Gelato. Is this a smart way to acquire supercars? Yeah, it's a very smart way to not just supercars, just whatever you want. I'm gonna do it I'm gonna tell you on a smaller scale what I did. On a smaller scale, I didn't buy a Lamborghini. Matter of fact, I might pull this up and show y'all. I had bought a Cadillac ATS-V. Okay, I bought a Cadillac ATS-V, and this is what I did. No, I don't go out there and pay cash. Watch this. Whatever the monthly payment was, I had my investment properties pay for it. So I don't care what the I don't want to say I don't care what the total payment is. I'm focused on the monthly payment, right? So I went to the Cadillac dealership. I didn't have to put any money down, okay? And then I end up buying this. I'm gonna show y'all. I'm gonna end up showing you what I end up buying. Look, I'm gonna flip my screen around. But I use the money from my real estate, the cash flow every single month, and then got this right here. I'm gonna flip my screen around to show you. Let me see if I can flip it around. Watch this. This is what I end up buying. This is what I end up buying. I bought this Cadillac ATS-V which cost me 70 grand. Okay. This was back in 2018. Okay. And I bought it brand spanking new from the Cadillac dealership. There it is right there. And what I'm telling you is I didn't pay cash for it. I just went off, got me a great deal on it. Okay. And then turn around, like I said, and then that this paid for it. And so in other words, I didn't use my money from my bank account to get this. Okay. So I'm just showing you different strategies. This is actually called chunking. All right. But look at this car, a beautiful car. And it's something that I wanted, but I would use a strategy called chunking. But instead of using my money from my bank account, I just went off and got me some assets like single family houses that took care of that car right there. It's called chunking. Anybody can do this. Anybody can do what I'm teaching you right here. Do you do coaching? I have a lot of potential. I'm not naive. I work hard, and I don't want to make. And I want to make this happen. I want to capitalize as much as I can. Faithful Mustang. I'm going to leave it in the description. I have an ebook. I have a course, and I do mentorship. Okay, but I want to make this clear because some people get a wrong understanding. Yes, there's a fee for this. Okay, so I don't do this for free, and I'm not trying to put anybody down, but I'm not doing this as a hobby. This is actually my business. So I just want to make that clear. No, okay, cool. But yeah, this is a beautiful car. It's that pearl white. It's got Recaro racing seats, and I just loved it. But that's a good point. I do something called, like I said, chunking. Just buy some assets like real estate that takes care of the monthly payment, and boom, you're good. All right. But that's a good question. Any other questions, guys, about real estate investing? Put them in the chats. Let me know. But I'm just telling you guys, this is something that's doable. A lot of people just lack information, and so they miss out on opportunities, and then they stay stuck, right? And you don't have to. All right. There should be a fee. I paid my last mentor $200 a month, and he taught me everything about sales and insurance. Awesome, and that brings me to my point too. Faithful Mustang, as I stated earlier in my live right here, you got to invest in yourself. So I'm glad you're a very good example. You already understand that because you did that prior to getting coaching and mentorship from somebody else. Um, Biggest lesson I've learned is that you got to invest in yourself. And I'm glad, like I said, you see that because in order to really get to that next level, in order to really understand this um, and ask questions and stay in here for the long haul, you got to get mentorship. You got to get some type of learning. Okay. So that's great that you understand that. But I'm going to be putting that in my description, guys, inside this channel. All right. So I'm just telling you what I went through. Okay, you take it as you may see it, but working at these plants, it really wore me out. And I have two young kids and my wife, and I needed to support them because I wasn't going to depend on corporate America, a 401k, or a pension. I got tired of living check to check. It made no sense to me. All right. It made no sense to me. So I got to a point where I said, you know what? I'm going to make some changes in my life. And that's what I did. I started to get into real estate, and it's been the best move I ever done. Let's see here. Any other questions, though? Uh, let's see here. Oh, somebody's former military. Awesome. You inspired me to transition. Well, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Let's see. But yeah, guys, again, I'm just sharing you my experience. There you go. Again, binge watch my other stuff. I do have a lot of YouTube, and you can also follow me on TikTok. I'm on TikTok. I give out, real estate game on that. And again, I'm here to teach buy and hold strategy, and it works, right? So I'm just telling you what I did. What age did you get into real estate? I started when I was 25. I'm 53 right now. I started when I was 25, and I haven't looked back since. Made a lot of mistakes along the way, a lot of mistakes. And so I share this because I've had such a great amount of experience in it. I have currently I have 17 single family houses and two apartments totaling 232 doors. I'm not telling this to brag. I'm just telling you I've been doing this for a long time. Okay, that's what I'm telling you. But great question. And you could start at any age, guys. There's no limit. I mean, you can't be, 15, but don't take what I do and compare yourself. Just start where you're at. All right. What kind of credit do you think a guy needs to get $1 million loan from a bank? I'll take that and get an apartment complex with 100 rooms. Okay, so I'm not gonna be here talking about apartment complexes, even though I got two of them. That's not my point here. Um, uh, but you got to start somewhere. We're talking big now. You're talking about $1 million loans and stuff like that. So yeah, I don't want to talk about apartments. Let's see. Oh, somebody said definitely keep going. All right. Uh, you need more stuff to steal. Okay. No, I'm not flexing. That's not a flex. That if you understand who I am and you know me, you'll see that I don't. That's not what I do. I just like coming out here and teaching this. But I remember listening to other people, and they were, I guess, flexing or showing off. But if they had information, I was going to absorb it. So I don't really care about the character of the person, so to speak. Um, I just wanted to make sure they were giving me some solid game so I could take it and use it and then go out there and implement in the real world. That was important to me, right? A lot of people are so judgmental and oh yeah, he's this color, he's this age. I don't really care. Give me the game so I can go out there and implement it. That's exactly how I think. That's exactly how I operate. All right. Does anybody have any questions though? Any questions about real estate? Any questions about real estate? Yeah, I just come out here. Oh, I never read that book. But there are some books that are good out there. Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. That's one good book. Another good book that I'm literally reading right now is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. I'm on page 55 right now. Powerful book. Powerful book. I've read it. This is my second time. All right. So I think it's important to get different insights and viewpoints from people. But yeah, these books that are talking about the mindset and manifestation and being able to visualize things and the spoken word, you got to be careful how you speak and think. Powerful. All right. So I see some people are spamming. So let me get rid of these people. Man, this is a different group out here. Very different group out here. Does anybody have any questions before I leave the room? You can follow me on TikTok, EY, the real estate investor. I will be on in just a little bit. Come on and follow me over there. I've got a lot of followers over there, and I love teaching people and then, talking about real estate and how to get to financial freedom, owning assets. That's the key, owning assets. So I'm a big dreamer. This is the stuff I love. Can you explain how to actually go out and get your first investment? Think and Grow Rich was great. Rich Dad Poor Dad. Okay, Ray Dalio books. Yeah, you're right about that one. I need to look more into that one. The Ray Dalio books. Great point, Faithful Mustang. Rich Dad Poor Dad. Think and Grow Rich. Yeah. No, there's nothing wrong with dreaming. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't want to say that. I'm just saying for this platform here, I'm only talking about single families. I don't want to veer off and talk about apartments. That's not really what I'm here to talk about. Mainly just single families because they're a lot easier to get into. Single families are very easy to get into, and for somebody to actually jump from apartments not even getting into single families, which are two different things. It's kind of I don't want to say it's hard or impossible, but it's not normal. So there's no point in me even talking about it. But that's good that you think like because I'm a big dreamer too. I think like that too. How do you actually go out there and get your first investment? Well, I'll tell you. Watch this. Let me show you how I got my first investment problem. I'm just gonna tell you how I did it. I didn't have my credit wasn't great, and I didn't have a whole lot of money, but I did work at the plants. I was very big into sports bikes back in the day. Let me show you something I'm talking about. I had bought this sports bike. This is a Yamaha R6. I bought this used off of Craigslist back in the day. Okay, you see that? I was heavy into these sports bikes. There's me right there. I just gotten off of work. But this is the point I want to make. Um, I took the money from that, I sold it, coupled it with the money I was saving with, and then that was my first down payment on my first single family home. I had to think creatively. I couldn't think conventionally like most people. I had to think creatively. And here's the other thing. I had it in my mindset what I wanted to do, and then it came into fruition and I put it into action. So whatever you think, this isn't Think and Grow Rich. Whatever you think right here, this is good and or bad. Whatever you think in your mindset, believe it or not, believe it or not, it will come into fruition because the vibration that you give off to the universe, it doesn't know whether right from wrong, good or bad. It's going to come out because it manifests here and then it comes into fruition on your actions. So be careful what you think and what you speak because words and your mindset are powerful. But anyway, my point is I took that money, rolled it in, got me the deal, and started off like that. That's exactly how I got my first property. And actually, at the same time, I'd already had my primary home and I was in there for 7 years and I took the equity out of that deal, okay, and went off and got me another one. And then a year later, rented that one out to Section 8. So there's so many different ways, but I talk about this in my book. I talk about this on my course and all this in mentorship programs. All right. Somebody says, I lost my dream a long time ago. I'm now 20. Wow, you're only 20 years old? Well, that's a good thing. You're only 20, okay? You could still bounce back from whatever happened. I don't think I would make it, but I'm still here. I don't know why yet, but I feel like I will understand it soon. Look, you're only 20 years old. You still got your whole life ahead of you, okay? So don't give up. Nothing, never give up. And I'm going to tell you something. The best-selling book in the world, and it's real, and I'm not trying to cross anybody, but I believe in the Lord. And it doesn't matter whether you've got things going perfectly or things are down in the dumps. I get up and pray every single day and I read my Bible. Okay? Take it as you may see. I'm going to say, I confess, the Lord is real. Okay? So don't give up on yourself. Understand that you can do this. Stay strong. Stay blessed. You'll be okay. Nobody's perfect. You've made mistakes. I've made mistakes, but just stay strong. Stay in there. Who is that? Chickeners. Yeah, stay in there. Man, you're only 20. Come on now. You don't never give up. It's never too late. Never give up and believe in yourself, okay? How to make money off my first single family house once I buy it. Buy and hold. Um, Buy and hold, renovate and sell. Also, have you ever done construction, building single families? No, I don't do single family construction. I don't do that. It doesn't matter to me. But how do you make money? By turning around and renting it out. Let me give you an example. All right, let me give you an example. When I say hold on to the property, let's say your principal, interest, taxes, insurance, and HOA, all your expenses, I'm just throwing out some numbers, say it's $1,000. You need to make sure that you're renting it out for $1,500 or $1,800. That difference between the $1,800 that you're renting it for and the $1,000 expenses, that $800, that's yours to keep in your pocket. So that's why I say I don't do this fix and flip and wholesaling and rent arbitrage. It's all about holding on to this property and renting it out. That's the key. You can Google this. Most millionaires, 90% of all millionaires came through owning real estate. Owning real estate, not rent arbitrage, not fix and flip, which I used to do, not all this other stuff. I'm telling you a simplistic way to go out there and make this happen without reinventing the wheel. And I promise you, if you do what I show you, the way I teach you, you can get success. All right. Thank you very much, Nose King 710. Borjo says, hello, Father. Okay. Does anybody have any questions, guys, about real estate? Does anybody have any questions about the real estate game? Again, like I said, all I do is rent my properties out to Section 8. I enjoy it. I love it. I love getting paid every single month. I'm not going out there hustling for a dollar. My money comes to me, and people don't realize that. When I'm partnered with the government, I'm getting paid. Did you know, because some people don't realize it, but we were in a government shutdown October and November, the longest government shutdown in U.S. history. Do you know I didn't lose any properties? Do you know I still got paid? This is why I stand by 10 toes down by renting out to Section 8. Okay, so that's what I specialize in. But I also rent out and do traveling nurses, insurance companies, and event spaces. But my main bread and butter, by far, bar none, is Section 8 rental. Getting paid every single month. Give me a thumbs up if you like this live that I just gave you. Give me a thumbs up. I'm really curious. For all those on this channel right now, give me a thumbs up. And if you enjoyed it and you learned something, I'm really curious before we get out of here. Anybody? Give me some thumbs up in the chats. I'm just trying to show you, man, this stuff is powerful. I love teaching real estate, and it could really do you some good, but it's only up to you, you know. But follow me on TikTok, EY the Real Estate Investor. I'll be over there in a little bit, and you can come learn some more game about real estate. But I try to go on different social medias to give you this. All right. All right. See y'all in the next.